yourself there? Huh? Just chewing away. Just a fatty little catty. Chewing on himself, as always. That's there. Just a little smidge that way. Centered up on that one. Wow, wow. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's Friday. TGIF, I guess. It was a date of record today for GameStop's warrant dividend. So all the shares in your account get recorded, shabam, and then for every 10 of them, you are going to get a warrant good for exercising at $32 a share. Now today, you come over here to bother me now that I'm talking. You're happy being over there before. Today, I eat you like a corn on a cob. Right before open, or the pre-market, GameStop released... Did you knock that thing off? Like, you son of a bitch. Can you just stop doing that? I'm trying to start a show. You were totally fine and content yonder a second ago. Now I'm start talking to the wall. You just gotta be all up in my business. Okay. Yeah, they dropped an S-3. In the S-3, the language is slightly different than the language they had for the S-3 that they did in 2024 for the, what do you call it, Cat? Share dilution, and then different from earlier this year before they did the, the convertible bonds. And in it, it appears very related to merger acquisition and very possibly a stock for stock merger in that. So there may be bonds issued, some sort of stock for stock merger. There's a lot of language about keeping them from being a takeover target. It's very interesting that they would do it on the data record of those warrants. And they got 90 days to do something with whatever's in that S3. So basically they have this remaining quarter of the year. So I recommend they do it sooner than later. That way everyone get all their stuff right with their tax accountants and setting up donations and whatever else they need to do. And yeah, so that's totally just wigging me out here. And government's still in shutdown. John Castro, a million billion thank yous. I got a ticket for Sunday's Mariners game. The best seat I could find is still terrible seats because they're so expensive. But I'll be up 300 level, nosebleeds, basically behind home plate. So I'll be able to see the whole field. So I'm very stoked. I've never been to a playoff game. The only playoff-ish game I've ever been to of any sport is I got to go to a Storm final when they won the championship a few years ago. See, it was during, I think, was it Sue Bird's last season? I think it was the season before that. But, you know, why are you yelling at me, dude? You're the one who came in here and bothered me. Get up here. Come on. Yeah, right there. Ding dong. Okay. You know what time it is? Do you know what time it is? It's after dark. Okay. Boink. All right, what do you guys got going on? We got a Bill Coin Super Chat, really bad mojo happening with the economy. Yeah, I mean, we essentially are not adding any jobs. Job growth is... So the market... An article came out today talking about how the AI bubble is 17 times that of the dot-com bubble or the real estate bubble that started the global financial crisis. And the thing about both of those bubbles is that while it was peaking, people were still getting hired at jobs. In 1999, they're still adding 250,000 jobs a month, 250,000 jobs a month, and then the bottom fell out. Right now, we haven't really added any jobs. In fact, 1 million people have been laid off since Trump became president. We're going negative. There's more people looking for jobs than there are jobs available. Not a good sign. Not a good sign. Now we got a whole bunch of companies that have to figure out where to get products and goods from in a tariff environment. Yeah. So, yep, you're right. Not good. Not good mojo. Definitely bad mojo happening with the economy. CPAW winning your first day productions. Oh, my live chat. Oh, you know what? I forgot to put this on live chat and go over to multi-stream so that anyone over on the Twitch side can actually comment, because I forgot to do that. We should just do it originally. Okay. First day productions. Why did Fidelity cancel all my GME call cells? I don't know. Why would they? You had calls, you were selling them, and they wouldn't let you? Were they today? Um, were they expired today? What's going on? In second. GDC turd. It's funny because it's like poop. Joshua Otten, dementia diddler Don, gone missing again. Check if Grandpa is at the golf course. Well, it's the weekend and he likes to go golfing, so that's what he do. Jason Blackwell, my GME calls on Friday look modified in some way. You know, reason? It's because they now have the warrants attached to them, so they're GME 1. And so they add, I think, $1.50 per share inside those options. Yeah. Hopper, delete that one. Copper Walnut, wow, surprise, surprise, another week of nothing. Go back to asking rock questions to distract everyone from their misery and disappointment. Okay. Ian, all right. Let's talk about GameStop's S-3 filing and if it could mean more possible dilution. RC isn't rubbing me the right way anymore. There's possibilities of dilution because they're still allowed to do that with the amount of shares they're allowed to sell. But the S3 to me looks more like we're going to do a merger acquisition with a stock for stock trade. And then something like that's going to happen. I think it's very interesting that they did it on the day of the warrant data record. It's curious that they chose that day to do it. I think if you're going to do a butterfly transaction and then get these multiple partners all involved and make some sort of like superior shell company out of it, this is what you do. And you set up those warrants for strike prices that are at or above what you think the post-merger price of the shares would be. Perhaps if there was a takeover bid or an exchange of equity in that situation. So, yeah, it's kind of weird that GameStop dropped as much as it did today. I would think that there would have been a lot more call action picking up on all that. So, monkey butt. You don't need to go to town yourself. The microphone can pick it up, and it's very disgusting. Yeah, just lay off the hoo-ha if you can. Yeah? Does that work? Cool. All right. You know, it's the old joke. You know, why is a dog lick their genitals? Because it can. You can come over here and joke with me now? You little dork. Okay. Oh, no super chat coming in. Stephanie L. So, would you say it's good news for GME or more speculation? Also, why do you think other Arab countries don't help Gazans? Are you taller than your dad? 3 questions here. I think it's good news for GameStop taking action of some kind. I don't yet know if it's going to be positive. My feeling is merger acquisition related. And they have to act on it in 30 days for it to be valid because the whole S3 thing starts a clock. And they start at the beginning of the quarter and it ends at the end of the quarter. So, got to do something before December 31st. Why do other Arab countries not help Gazans? I don't know the exact reason why they don't step up more and help. I think part of it is a fear of the Israeli military. The Israeli military is terrifying, and they've got all sorts of advanced stuff, and they prove they can whoop ass whenever they want to. So there's a fear of that very powerful, very high technological military kicking your ass if you do anything. combined with the fact that they want a free Palestine, I think, a lot, not necessarily because it's their Arab brothers and whatnot, but because they don't want any of the spillover of refugees. They don't want to take care of them. They don't want them in Lebanon. They don't want them in Jordan. They don't want them in Egypt. They want them just gone, right? And it's easier to do that if they're inside what was the historic Palestine. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it seems kind of heartless how even Egypt doesn't really allow much to go through the border there. Granted, now Israel kind of controls the other side of that border inside of Gaza. But these are giant cities that have been basically refugee tent cities, like overgrown refugee tent cities over the last 80 years. And yeah, I don't know what else to say other than those kind of two selfish factors, that they want them inside Palestine so they aren't elsewhere. And that seems to be kind of what they're going for here. Am I taller than my dad? Yes. My dad maxed out at about 6 feet tall. He'll be 89 this month, and he's maybe 5'7" right now. He's shrunk quite a bit. He's still in fantastic shape for his age. Still does pull-ups, push-ups, squats. Goes to the gym every morning. His core isn't as strong as it used to be. He does have like a scoliosis that he was basically so strong he was able to like force his spine to be straight for the last 80 years, and now he's kind of wrenched a little bit. But yeah, I'm taller than I was the tallest person on both sides of the family as far as I can see, until my super basketball nephew at age 14 is now 6'5" or 6'6", and he's a freshman in high school. He's gonna be starting on the varsity basketball team. What he has colleges after him. He is a dominator. His AAU team got second place nationally last year, and he's definitely an inside dominator. He hasn't stopped growing yet, so who knows where he's gonna end up. His mom, my sister, the captain, she's 6 feet tall. Her husband's like 6'3", and they just made a child that's just like, when like two waves combine, then like the amplitude goes crazy high. That's him. So finally, I am no longer the tallest person in my family. Yeah, so tall parents, good diet, lots of basketball. Anything else there? Okay. First impressions. I noticed the 3 main universities in Utah wiped out all their info on their NSA, CIA staff members. I understand roughly 20% of the NSA is LDS members. What say you? I know there's apparently quite a bit of LDS folks in national security, not just NSA, but FBI and others. To me, it's kind of like what Scientologists were doing, which is you get a whole bunch of your people from your religion or cult or whatever, and you get them into government, and then you can like make sure you don't get investigated and problems don't happen and whatnot. So yeah, there's quite a few that go in there, and they got squeaky clean records. They grow up completely sheltered, and they go off to BYU or whatever, and they do their grades, and they go off and become government man. It allows them to like then get spread around the country because they're missionaries, right? So you go into communities that may not be strong LDS, you set up the churches, do all that stuff. It seems like it works out pretty well for them. But yeah. And they have strong language skills due to the fact that they would like, go to Thailand or Spain or whatever and learn a second language. And then they become really attractive for things like NSA and CIA and that too. So learning languages, I guess, right, Monkey? You're staring at me as if you're going to get something, but no one's asked for it yet. So you get to keep staring. Jason Blackwell, hey, how did Rihanna know Chris Brown was cheating again? Lipstick stains on his knuckles. Oh. Yeah, Chris Brown's a piece of shit. Like people like say, oh, that dude's got big dick energy. Chris Brown, we've all seen his dong, and he's got a big dick, but he doesn't have big dick. He has small dick energy for a guy with a big Johnson. And he is a bad person. And I think you can get your terrible R&B music from somebody who doesn't beat on women constantly. my opinion. Listen to somebody else. Hot Pocket Rebel, let's go Mariners. BBY had a nice green day on data record date, and GME shit the bed as usual. Any guess why? I'm tired of holding the bag on GME and BBYQ. I don't know, man. I don't know. But go Mariners. Corporal Walnut's giving me the chemical compound of what looks like a mineral of some kind here. Manganese, iron. 2 manganese, iron, silica. Okay. Which one is this? Should I take a guess? I'm going to guess silica. Pegmatite of some kind with the silica? Coming tonight. I should have memorized that chemical compound there. It's the chemical compound for coming tonight. All right, color dark green, brown, beige, colorless, pale green in section. Fibrous brownish crystals coming tonight locally. Denamore Mine, Uppsala Lawn, Upper Sweden. So coming tonight is all over Sweden. And remember, their nights last for 6 months, so that's a lot of coming. It's a crystal habit, but where's it formed? How's it formed? Magnesio coming tonight to the iron-rich grunerite endeavor. All right, recurrence. Okay, it's commonly found in metamorphized manganese-rich rocks. Okay, so it's metamorphic, not a pegmatite. Pegmatites are generally igneous rocks that slow cool and then form a bunch of crystals. Coastal hornblende, actinite, magnesium, clinochlor, chlorite, talc, serpentine. Yeah, so this stuff, see these little fibrous guys? That looks a lot like serpentine there. Aluminum, ferric acid, travel. Oh god, whoops. Coming tonight also has been found some felsic volcanic rocks. Oh, there's your pegmatites right there. So it can form a pegmatite. That's why the silica. I looked at silica and I was like, huh. Yeah. The metamorphized mineral rich rocks, grunerite, iron formations, Lake Superior. You can find some coming tonight. Labrador's got some. And there you go. So, coming tonight. After dark, baby. That's what we're all about. Rock hard coming tonight. Didn't even spell it with a C-U. Nice. Whew. For a second there, I thought I had to turn off the intro. My heart skipped a beat, monkey. It skipped a beat, and you're still staring at me as if I'm giving you something, but no one's asked for it. So, tough titty. All right. Jason Black, what's my recipe for meth? What's up, my band? Happy Friday, everybody. Polestar says, yo. Polestar says, tired, boss. Ian says, time for a beer. Polestar says, ugh, so much garbage happening. That's true. First Productions, how many distraction were there at the Charlie Kirk assassination? The one shot him guy, the guy waving his arms and cheering. I understand there was a second person to claim to be Charlie Shooter. I have no idea. I kind of stopped paying attention to all of it, honestly. He got zip-zopped. And now people can do what it is they do with him. But at this point, my brain's started to delete Charlie Kirk from memory because he didn't have a positive effect on society. So why concern myself with him anymore? He's not around. It's like Rush Limbaugh. It's like Rush Limbaugh added nothing to society, and no one talks about him anymore except to say like he added nothing to society. So at best, piss on his grave and then go. Polestar. Trump saved ninth war now, or will this fall through again for Gaza? Big Daddy Israel is going to say no. He saved a war while the Senate now appears to be trying to get votes together to declare war on Venezuela. So, he'll start the war in Venezuela, then he'll be like, I ended the war in Venezuela. And everyone will cheer for him. I don't know. They're trying really, really hard with a propaganda edge. You know, like posting on all the government websites, having the newscasters, having talking heads all talk about how the Democrats are responsible for shutting down the government. And then the polls came out showing that only 30% of Americans think the Democrats are responsible for shutting down the government. And that basically is the MAGA people. The MAGA people are like, the Democrats did it. So they're having a hard time getting their propaganda through. And it sounds like the good people in government are now starting to get fired for refusing to do illegal things. The FBI has a rule against perp walking. And they fired an FBI agent who refused to cuff Comey and perp walk him. They're like, get out of the FBI. He was following the law. And they fired him for following the law. So there goes a good FBI agent who's going to get replaced with some dirtbag who's not qualified. Remember, they lowered the qualification standards to become an FBI agent. No longer have to have a 4-year degree. Now you can be like a high school diploma. I don't know what they're trying to get out of this. But I don't see, barely literate C students doing a good job as investigators in the long run. Do you, Monkey? You wouldn't put up with that, right? No, you wouldn't, you little floor dog. So yeah. Limitless Reflections. Hi, Houston. About ready for bed here. Shout out to the Monkey Butt and Fat Cat. Boom, boom. So is RC treating GME like a pump and dump? Feels like it. What's this mixed shelf thing? I think the mixed shelf thing is a merger acquisition. I think they're setting it up. I've been reading all the stuff from Region Formal and Jake and Nobles and all the D&D people, and the language seems very much like they're going to do a stock for stock exchange for a merger acquisition. And how it would happen, I'm not entirely sure. Like, say, GameStop gives stock to Bed Bath. Bed Bath gives stock to GameStop. And then it becomes one umbrella corporation with the BBBY shell being reborn as the holder. And then all the BBY people get their stock. All the folks who have bonds get their stock, right? So if you're going to get a combination of the stock of these two companies become the holder, you're going to need a set price for those bondholders, and $32 for GameStop and $15.50 for Bed Bath & Beyond are pretty nice prices to get. That gives you about between 30 and 60 shares, depending on which one, per $1,000 in bonds. So not too shabby. So that's what I'm leaning towards. I'm hoping for. I really... Monkey Butt's got another $1,000 vet bill for an imaging checkup in November. But really nice to have the extra scratch to be able to play with that, right, Monkey? Right? Yeah, you little floor mongrel. And Luminous Reflections is something coming on 2-year anniversary out of BBYQ shares being removed from the accounts October 17th or October 18th. Oh, wouldn't that be nice to know? We keep hoping there's a hype date in there, so maybe make that our next hype date. October 17th, 18th. Why not? We look forward to that. So, Polestar. Insane Trump video with the Grim Reaper just throwing Project 2025 in everyone's face now. And now a main Project 25 guy is telling Trump what to do, what to cut. Cooked. Oh, yeah. They went from, I have no idea what Project 2025 is, to we are doing Project 25. I mean, it's 47% enacted at this point. And the guy in charge of the budget is the leader of the Project 25 movement. J.D. Vance wrote a chapter of the book. Like, they just lied to everybody. And then, the excuses from the right is like, oh. After, like, how dare you accuse Trump of being a part of this, to like, oh, well, what are you going to do? And that does not bode well for democracy in that respect. Kind of doomed in the end, if you think about it. Digno Doink. Did you secure a ticket for Saturday Sunday Mariners game? I looked for tickets today, but we'll just watch from the home cheaper beer. Yes, I'll be going to Sunday evening's game. 5:05 p.m. start time. I'll be up in the section 312, 3 something, behind home plate. So I'll be up there in the nosebleeds if you guys want to come by and say hi. It wasn't the cheapest ticket. It was like $257. Mainly because those seats, they have like a back to them, and they aren't like aluminum bleacher, which in October is cold. And the ones that were like really cheap, meaning they're like $230, were on the aluminum bleachers that are very cold. And I just didn't feel like doing that in October. So I John Castro sent the dineros over. I used them, man. So, right, buddy? Yeah. So I'm pretty stoked. I've never actually gone to a baseball game alone. Well, not a professional game. We've gone to like college games and stuff alone. Because I go talk to coaches and whatnot. So I hope up with some cool, excited people, man. That'll be great. And yeah. So thanks again, John. Oh, the other super chat just disappeared. Where'd it go? And Dig Dug Doink toward Monkey Butt Vet Bill. Oh, thank you, Dig Dug Doink. Thank you. And Monkey Butt Treat now, and GDC said Monkey Butt Treat. Okay, I guess we got a stinky. There's twofers right there, so it's two for the doofer. I don't understand why the blue ones don't show up immediately for me. I have to like scroll and find them. Is it that you have to get to a green first for it to pop up at the top of my chat for me to actually see them? I never understood that. Why do they do that, monkey? Do you want this? Is that something dogs like? Yeah? Alright. Yep. Pretty excited. Get those chewing sounds in there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They need to give these a... So Monkey Butt is a messy eater when it comes to like cookies. She puts her mouth and just fall over the floor. And she's really bad about cleaning up after herself. And we do these visits. We go into town, visit all the shops. Because people in town love Monkey. And they give her like these big biscuits. Then one of the art galleries gives her ones that are like that big. And they just crumble and fall on the floor. And I try to like scoop them into a pile so she can see it and eat it. And she gets like half of those. And then they have to like sweep up after her afterwards. So, but these, there's nothing to sweep up. It's jerky. It just goes down the gullet, right? She's like, quit talking. More jerky. So thank you, GDC. Thank you, Just Miami. Oh, and First Day Productions super chat. The blue ones, I missed the blue ones. GME calls were for future price targets. Yes. All right. GDC, people keep saying RC is working with short hedge funds to let them off the hook. RC is not working with short hedge funds. He is just working against retail. He hates us more than he loves them. I understand getting the fundamentals in order for your company. I totally get it. I totally understand getting rid of debt. I totally understand, increasing the treasury of the company. I understand, cutting fat and making everything streamlined. But what we have not seen yet is the act that actually maximizes value, which is the big play. The moving into a completely unrelated market or expansion plans. And everything's been like distilled down into this little ball, but there's been no talk about making the ball bigger, which is where shareholders start to see value. Is you grow that balloon, right, monkey? Right, buddy? Yeah, it's good chicken, wasn't it? It was so good. Yes, it was. Oh, ears. They're so soft. And that's his next moves. He's got to announce a merger acquisition. He's got to announce increasing the number of stores or making a bigger online presence or something that is actually going to drive revenue. You got to drive the revenue. You got to expand the revenue. You got to make more money. A company that is selling, $3 billion a year less than it was 10 years ago is not going to see a continued, increased value in stock. You've shaved it down too much. You have no ability to expand overseas, where your stores overseas at this point wouldn't be facing tariffs. So your prices could be cheaper over there than they are here in the US currently. But you sold off Canada, you sold off Europe. So what's your plan to grow, man? You gotta grow. Gotta grow. This is capitalism. Capitalism is all about growth. Grow. Actually, I hurt my pinky by doing that. Too much G-forces. Okay. And Pulsar, well, yeah. Then there's working with them. Now I now feel, now since he's in that circle, he can't screw them over anymore. Friends of friends of friends. It is harder when you get stuck in that billionaire, all my neighbors are corporate overlords and we all know each other and we all deal with the stock market and whatever. Like, the reason why the sociopaths are really successful in this realm is that they will shake and smile and be kind, and then they'll stab you in the back and not think about it twice. So he's got to be able to look those dudes in the eyes and see them at the country club and be like, "Gotcha, you fucking loser." Anyway, drinks are on me. And that's how you got to play it. So I don't know. Yeah. Crump Walnut. GDC, no, he's just taking his time because he's a billionaire, so what's the rush? That's also kind of true that he's not thinking about his next vet bill. So, I know other people are. Papa Rebels thinks Ryan hates her guts. Exclusive 605s, let's go Yankees. I'll never root for the Yankees. Ever. Never, ever. Ever, monkey. Why? Because I hate shaving. I hate it. I zip-zop this thing maybe twice a month, and I just hate doing it. And they make them all shave. Be clean cut and proper. And they treated Ken Griffey Jr. like shit because he was a little black kid when his dad was playing for him. And, yeah. The Yankees, monkey. Hoppa Rebels got the right idea. Polestar. Rumored during military summit, they had cameras focused on all the faces at all times and are looking for reaction to discontent. Not sure if that's true. Oh, 100%, man. They already fired the chief of staff of the Navy, probably because of some sort of reaction that he had at that meeting. My guess is they're going to pick them all off. They've already identified colonels and captains who are sketchy as shit and have probably been blackballed from promotion. Who they're like, hey, we know that your psyche valves failed or you did something shitty in the past, but do you want to become a general or admiral? We can make it happen if you swear your loyalty to me. And that's how they do it. That's how they do it. Yeah, right, monkey. Right, little dweebus. Yeah. In Polestar, their faces all seem to be brightly lit up in the audience. Yeah, that would help. Rose Moon. Hi, Houston. I've been out of GME a while, so I don't know what's going on, but I'm playing Clover Pit right now, so different gambling. GameStop's issuing some warrants. Those are on the way. Date of record was today. You should get the warrants in your account on the 7th, which is Tuesday? 7th? Where's my calendar? Today's the 3rd. Tuesday's the 7th. So I think the 7th they should show up in your account. So there you go. They dropped an S-3, and that's all we know. Luminous Reflections. I went for a walk today along the Everglades and walked past a man and woman, probably Cuban. The man had a gun on his hip, open carry. As I walked by, he had his arm ready to draw. I smiled and said hello and was a little annoyed at first, but then I realized where he was coming from and why he probably carried it and, well, felt for him. Open carrying is weird. The guy who drops off the bounce house for my 4th of July party every year, he's this, like, very serious, like, no wit, no humor, no warmth, and he's this black dude, and he wears, like, a MAGA hat, and he has a gun on his hip, and he just drops off bounce houses and picks them up. And he, like, has his wife, who never says a word, and 2 little boys who help him, who have to, like, help him do it all. And it's just odd. Like, I don't know. I don't feel threatened ever. Like, the 2 times I've had a gun put in my face, I was deep in the wild, and if I had a gun on my hip, I would have been shot immediately. And they would just drop my ass down a mine shaft, and that would have been it. I think my life was saved because I didn't have a gun on my hip, and they didn't perceive me as some sort of threat. I don't know. It's weird. I just don't feel like people are like, what about protecting your home? Like, dude, anyone robs my house, I've got renter's insurance. Let's get better, newer shit. Like, if someone wants to break in and take my television and have the damnedest time trying to sell that thing on the market, good luck. It's gonna take two of you to carry it. You're gonna break the screen, and then you're not gonna be able to sell it for anything. So, yeah. Oh well. Hey, still say hi to everybody. Just say hi. Hello, hi to neighbor. Super chat's coming in. GDC for Monkey's vet bill, you beardo. Monkey, thank you. All right, you can say thank you. You get up there and say thank you. Come here. Come on. Look at that camera. Look at that one right there. See that one right there? You say thank you. Thank you. All right, there we go. And Luminous Reflections, a little towards Monkey Butt Vet's bill as well. Treat for Monkey Butt and Fat Cat if he's around. Well, Fat Cat's yonder. He's blending in with the blanket at the moment. We can do, how about these ones? All right, you want these ones? Yes, the beefy ones. Got one beefy one for you. There we go. And shall we try another little one for the cat? You want to try that again, kitty? No? No. Put it in your face hole. You want it? Yeah. Tastes like me? You know, lick it like an ice cream cone? It's the least efficient way to do it. Just take it in your mouth. You oh my gosh. Oh. Just put it in your mouth, man. There you go. Cats, dude. Cats. Hey! You figured out how to eat it, monkey. Woo! The fat cat. No, I didn't. He spit it out. And he's doing some math. Yeah, you got this? No? You don't have this? Alright, well. Fat cat couldn't figure it out. But thank you, Luminous Reflections. Okay. That was Joshua Auden, I shut down all the time. Why is the government special? Alright. And Julius says the guy's probably open carrying because of ICE. That's also probably true. I'm actually surprised that these ICE dudes haven't gotten picked off more. Did you hear about what they did in Chicago this week? They went to an apartment building in Chicago in the middle of the night. They pulled every single solitary person out of the building. We're talking like little kids were naked and cuffed and thrown in vans, and they arrested everyone. Like hundreds of people live in this apartment building. None of them were foreigners. None of them were aliens. They were all U.S. citizens. Every person in that building was, they had to release everybody, except the ones that had warrants for their arrest. But it is illegal for ICE to arrest an American citizen. So even if they have a warrants for the arrest, an officer with ICE does not have it in their purview. It is not in their jurisdiction to arrest an American citizen. They have to have a different agency do it. And earlier today, at a courthouse, I think it was in Los Angeles, a U.S. Marshal, brown-skinned U.S. Marshal, walked into the courthouse, which is where he works, and ICE arrested him. And his coworkers had to come to his rescue and prove to them that he was a U.S. Marshal and it was his job to be there, and he wasn't just some like Mexican illegal walking into a courtroom. It's just getting out of hand, man. It is ridiculous. It's not going to end well for us at all. It's just like there's too much ominous crap going on and not enough intelligent people with consciences in these positions of power anymore. And we're just going to let every weird sociopath, bounty hunter dude, January 6er get a badge and do whatever the hell they want. And then we have to wait for whatever giant, violent, protracted awfulness happens as a result of that. and then go through like a whole Nuremberg trial process. It's just such a waste. We could be doing cool things as a country. Instead, we're just doing stupid shit and trying to pretend like Bad Bunny is an American citizen because he's Puerto Rican, which is part of America. Be better, folks. Dick Doink for a hot dog at the game. Oh, thank you, Dick Doink. You hear that, kitty? Hot dog at the game. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm just looking forward to Sunday, dude. I remember I got to go to a bunch of Mariners games in the lead up to their first playoff experience in '95. I was a freshman in high school, and I didn't have much money to my name, but I bought tickets for like 4 or 5 of those games, and I didn't get to go to the one where they had the 1-game playoff against the Angels to clinch the American League West, which would have been spectacular. But I was at some other really cool ones, and it was so much fun. Like, the giddiness in the crowd after the wins was just like, hum. So I hope it's a day we win and we don't have like a, oh, because, who wants that? But we're gambling for that win, right, kitty cat? Right? We get to see Luis Castillo pitch. He's been like on fire recently. And so, it's going to be chilly, which he pitches better when it's hot outside. But I hope that the amped up, playoff atmosphere makes him just go berserker mode. And it's good. I'm pretty excited. Don't you stop it, you fucker. I don't think you even do you still have drugs up here? Oh, you do. All right. Well, okay, fine. Get the drugs out of the hole covered giant monster. This thing chewed up like crazy. Okay. Yeah. Don't blow them all over the place. Just hold your breath and lick. You just breathe and you just scatter the drugs all over the place. Okay. It's like every time I get French toast at a restaurant, right? They put powdered sugar on it, and I go take my first bite and like and just inhale all this powdered sugar that just covers my bronchi, and then I just cough all over the place. That's you blown out with all your drugs here, man. Okay. Everything's covered in your filth. First Aid Productions. Last Kirk question, last theory. Air gun from behind, possibly from the tunnel. Video of the projectile traveling at about 500 feet per second. I saw some video they were saying it was his lapel mic going, that way. That did it. Because it had a weird recoil on it when he went back. Because he just went back like this. But it was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Who knows? I think the interesting stuff that's come out about his wife is more like, Because remember, they think a divorced woman is like, ran through and shouldn't be bothered with. They think women in their 30s have hit the wall and they can't find a quality man, right? He found a divorcee in her 30s. That seems to be against everything that he preached about, every other woman he's ever talked about. Who's a boss babe, right? She's CEO of a company. She's been running like nonprofits since she was 17. She's, business executive, multiple degrees, like everything that he says no woman should have or be or do. And somehow she's in charge of stuff. And then they link her back to like the weird, the colonel in Romania who got in trouble for trafficking kids. Like her organization was working with this kid while like adopting children and stuff. It's very weird. So I think she was a honeypot, if anything. 100%. What do you think? What do you think, dude? Yeah? You stoned out of your mind now? You're full of... Did you actually eat that thing? What the dog did. It's gone. So, good job. All right, stoner. There you go. Wiggle away. Yeah, attack my arm. Attack my arm. Okay. Don't kick me while I'm trying to use my mouse. Keenan, RC being a Jew is the bare thesis for GME. No, that's not at all what anything is related to in this. Billy Mack, I got scammed with options set to to sell only on Robinhood, and of course, price crashed, making them worthless. Ugh. Yeah, price did crash. It crashed over $2 from last night and finished below Max Payne, which is the weirdest thing. I think Max Payne was at 25.50 and it closed below that. So, let's see here. Yeah, we had 35,000 options in the money as of yesterday, and we finished with 12,000 in the money today. So yeah, ow. Max Payne is 26. We finished $1 below Max Payne, basically. 25.35. So those 25s were in. Don't be such a monster. Don't be such a monster, you little monster. Yeah, don't eat that thing. That thing goes right there. Leave it alone. Put a hole in my hand, so don't do that again. All right. Make sure I didn't miss any other blue ones here. Orange, orange, green, green. Okay, blue, blue. All right, we got those. Word. Okay. Legacy and Productions, what was the reason some brokers turned off the buy button for options today? Probably because of the QSIP change. Not QSIP change, the ticker change from GME to GME1 for the ones that had the warrants in them, be my guess. You are so high right now, Cat. Alright, Pure Point. Robinhood had no option chain available for GME today. I only had roll or exercise position available. No options chain option. My guess is they don't know what to do with the upcoming warrants and how to package these things up and get the warrants people, so they just panicked. And that's probably my guess. Polestar. All these comedians selling out. Shane Gillis turned them down and said the money they were offering was just ridiculous. Several comedians said that they turned it down for the Riyadh Comedy Festival. I am sure Bill Burr probably made more money in one night than he makes an entire year of doing, like, selling out shows. And they found a price. There's other comedians, David, Mr. Show, Tobias Fumke, David. Oh my God, why I can't think of that. David Cross. That's the word I'm looking for. Jeez, my knees. David Cross basically wrote a scathing letter to all his friends in the comedy world. He said by name too, Dave, Bill, etc. He was like, "You dirtbags. You go on stage, talk about truth, talk about freedom of speech, and you go to a country that people can be put to death for what they say online. And you're going to do a comedy show over there because the money's right? You're rich enough. Fuck you." And he's like, "I had respect for you. I don't anymore." And I was like, "Oh, damn." People have their price. I get it. But if you're already rich, I don't know if you need to go, really. If you're a poor-ass comedian, if you're some basement dweller comedian who's been struggling for years and they offer you $5 million to go do a show in Riyadh, I don't blame you for that. But if you're worth like $100 million, what's the few $1,000,000 more to go do that? You're not struggling. You can be like, I don't need that. I don't know, Kat. Do you know? I don't know. Most Rasmussen, Berkshire type of play, or they short squeeze of a lifetime, or MOAS, a little time frame to pick whatever price you want. I would rather have a squeeze, just a big, giant, happy squeeze, than a 30-year steady growth. I don't care about 30-year steady growth. I want the cash now. If I win the lotto, I'm taking the lump sum and not the parse it out over the next 20 or 30 years. Because I can take that lump sum and I can put that into dividend stocks and I can have whatever growth I want after that. But I want the guarantee that I don't have to worry, that I've got the freedom to travel, that I've got this cat I can put in a cage and a muzzle on him, right? Put the muzzle on you, little freak. Here, come here. Come over here. Go into your bed and have a good time over there. There you go. Groom yourself. Give it to me now. Give it to me now. I can take half the ultimate value they would give me in 30 years now and gladly turn it into way more than that through just normal, 5 to 20% growth on stocks, bonds, ETFs, etc., etc. I don't need to wait and wait and wait and wait. I don't have the comfort to wait and wait and wait and wait. There's vet bills and student loans, and possible need to flee the country and all that crap that's there. So I don't want the slow burn. Give me the gratification now. I'll be responsible with it. Pulsar. For them to go to this comedy event in Saudi Arabia. Oh, talking about MS, hey H, is there a way to know how many ICE Trump has hired? I don't know. It should be public information how many employees there are. A report came out showing that thousands of ICE officers had quit last month, like in record numbers. So my guess is, the officers in ICE were already kind of giant Nazi pieces of shit before, but there were probably some who were like diligent upholders of the law, and they just can't do it anymore. They see the writing on the wall that there's gonna be Nuremberg style trials for the actions that they're taking, and they're like, nope, I'm done. I'll go do something else. And there's also probably a huge problem with the mass hirings they're doing, taking people who don't have high school diplomas. They're giving them promises of huge bonuses, etc., really high pay, and these guys are wholly unqualified and dangerous. They're probably borderline criminals themselves, if not have criminal records. Some of those criminal records may have involved January 6th, and it's just not a good fit. It might even be too far for the folks who are already pretty far gone. And they're like, well, that guy is dangerous. When I lived in Hawaii, in the hippie house, so I first moved to Hawaii, I was living in a youth hostel until I was trying to find a place to live, and it was really hard to find a place to live if you're a white guy in Hilo. You basically experience the racism minorities experience everywhere else in America. And, you can be like, hey, here's 6 months rent. And they'd be like, no. So eventually I found, my buddy Dave and I found rooms in the paper, just like, advertise the paper, $350 a month per room, whatever, freshly renovated. We called them up, and they're, turns out they were Hare Krishna weirdos. We moved in because we needed a place to live. I was tired of living in a van, and they were fucking weird. Every person at that compound gave me the willies, absolute heebie-jeebies. I meet someone, I'm like, you're fucking weird, man. I don't trust you. I don't like you. The hair stands on the back of my neck. And I came home at Christmas time. So I was gone for 3 weeks at Christmas. Come home. Got to Hawaii, I should say. And there's just like a whole new group of weirdo hippies that are just a pain in the ass. And, these folks were like one life decision away from becoming like neo-Nazis or a dirty hippie. And they just happened to like fall in the dirty hippie gutter ball and go that way. They had hard living, poor impulse control, bad reasoning, poor education, personality disorders, just you name it. They're weird. And there was this guy, Calvin, who showed up, and he really set off like the alarm bells. Like, this dude, I don't trust him. He had just the eyes that made you think like all he's thinking about is skinning me alive. And the weird hippies, the ones I didn't like who gave me the willies, they're like, watch out for that guy. He's really weird. And it's like, if you think he's weird, there's something definitely messed up with that dude, because you have almost no ability to read people, period. And flash forward a couple weeks, I come out of the shower, and there's 2 Hawaii detectives. And I think I've told this part of the story before, but there's 2 detectives, and they're wearing like hammer pants, polo shirts, and their badges are like around their neck, around their waist. And, do you live here? I'm like, yeah, I live here. We're looking for so-and-so. I'm like, well, they're not here. They're at school. And, well, do you know about the fire? And I thought they were talking about the fire. The hippies owned a farm, a noni farm, which is the grossest plant in the entire world. And like a hippie burned a tree down, smoking a bowl or something weird like that. Like, oh, the farm's like, no, the one where Dijon was murdered. And Dijon was this trustafarian, no job, money from somewhere, hippie, never wear shoes again, man, type guy. And he would come to the place I lived, and they'd have like this Hare Krishna drum circle. They'd bang on drums and yell Hare Krishna over and over again, like all Sunday, and eat vegan pizza. And I'd met the dude. He's nice enough, but still like, weirdo, dirty hippie guy. And Dijon's kink apparently was picking up hitchhikers and then seducing them. Didn't matter, men, women, whatever. He would pick up a hitchhiker and he would just lay it on thick, and that was what would like get him rock hard, right? And hitchhikers are everywhere in Hawaii. There's all sorts of lots of gnarly hitchhiker stories. And he apparently picked up Calvin. The dude had been living on the floor of my kitchen when I got back from winter break. And Calvin went along with it. Dijon's like hitting on him, and Calvin's like, yeah, let's go back to your place. Dijon's like, oh my God, it's working. And they go back to Dijon's place. Calvin says something like, you like being tied up? And Dijon's like, yes, please, sir. And Calvin ties him to the bed, robs everything out of the house, lights the house on fire, and murders Dijon. And Dijon's dead. That's why the cops are in my living room looking for this guy. And in my opinion, the ICE agents from before, who were pieces of shit, are seeing the ICE agents who come in now, and it's like those dirty hippies looking at Calvin and going, that guy's a freak. They're moving that Overton window so far that I don't think the people who were there before can even stomach the horrors that these guys are capable of. And that's just... That's my feeling. That's why I think so many are quitting. And they're desperately, I wouldn't doubt with my 2,000 hours of calling Donald Trump a piece of shit on YouTube and all my Twitter posts and everything like that I could probably go get a job at ICE and get that big old bonus, because no one's smart enough there to actually check who I am and what I do. They'd be like, whoa, college degree? Whoa. Do you want to be a captain? How about it? Can you commit all sorts of atrocities and no question? And then you just get in there and get that job and get your college paid for and whatnot. Believe me, there's part of me that's thought about it. It's like, I wonder how much autonomy I have if I were to get hired to be an ICE agent, and could I really fuck this system over? Like, could I be like, I'm going to go on an investigation and just never do anything? Or are they going to have all sorts of quotas I got to fill? Or would I have the autonomy to just go to Billionaires Row in Miami and just start hauling billionaires out of their house and just losing them in the system for weeks at a time? Like, why not? He didn't have any ID on him. So, he's going to sit here for 3 weeks until we figure out if he's really an American citizen or not. Those little fantasies go through my head, I'll be honest. So, I don't know. What goes through your brains? Dig Dug Doink, show me the rule in basketball that dog can't play basketball. Here's the hardest part about dog playing basketball. It's on a hardwood floor. So you're going to have to get that dog sneakers, because there's no way Air Bud is actually like going to be able to break ankles out there, because Air Bud's going to be the one getting their ankles broke. It is so easy to fake out a dog. Have you ever played fetch with a dog? You can fake throw that thing. The dog is gone. So you just fake a pass. Anytime you fake a shot, that dog is not going to be on defense whatsoever. You're going to be able to just make every layup. You're going to be able to like fake a juke. That dog's breaking the other way. You're going past it. The dog may have an ability to shoot from the outside, but that's going to be about it. That's all Air Bud's going to give you. You're not going to get much else on the floor with a golden retriever playing basketball. That's truth. Monkey Butt is now down to 3 legs, and she is absolutely terrified of the hardwood floors, to the point that I had to buy big old rugs off the internet and lay them down because she wouldn't go to where her food is. She was like, nope, not doing that. So there's no way, a golden retriever with big old fluffy pads is going to be doing anything on the basketball court. Okay, super chat coming in. Attending oneness, UW is the shit. Huge crowd chasing and dunking on tweeb fascists. Go Huskies. Raising him right there, rock on. Yeah, some Nazi sympathizer came to do a talk at campus, and the kids at campus were like, "Get him!" And there's an amazing CCTV camera from like a weather cam on top of one of the buildings of this crowd going across Red Square, chasing this dude, and like people coming, like joining them to chase this guy out. So yeah, the last time they had some Nazi speaker dude come to campus, I think was just after Trump got elected, and one of the Nazis got shot. So, you know, good luck. Good luck. You're not in friendly territory out here at all. Don't go saying that the Holocaust didn't happen, because they're going to kick your ass. When I was in 8th grade, I can talk about this kid, Adam Carter. He's in prison now. He's a little 6th grader, and he was like screaming Nazi stuff at this little Jewish girl, and he got beat up so bad every day for like a week that his parents just pulled him out of school and homeschooled him, because there was like no going back. It's like that kid was getting like smeared up and down the halls for being a little Nazi piece of shit. And it turns out he's just a criminal asshole anyway. He made papers here not too long ago. He got out of prison, came into where I was working, and I was like, get out. And then got into a foot chase with cops and like a gun shootout, and he's back in prison again. So who knows what those kids knew what was up. Yeah, it just doesn't fly out here. You can try it, and there's like little underground groups and stuff, but they're scared of actually making themselves known. You know, that famous footage of that really big, lean black guy just laying out that Nazi who's like, "Whoa, buddy," and just whack, one punches him to the ground. That was in downtown Seattle. That was at 3rd Avenue, downtown Seattle. And someday I'm going to walk down 3rd Avenue. I'm going to see that guy. Not the Nazi dude. He's long gone. I'm going to see the dude did the punch. And I'm going to be like, can I shake your hand and have your autograph? That's just how it works out here. You just don't do Nazi crap. Because we'll end World War II for you. That's how we were raised. So don't do it. Super chat coming in. Who's this one? This is Digger Doink. Disagreement. When my dog has the ball, he leaves me flat foot every time. So score for score. Well, that's usually on grass, right? Like the dog can like, but on hardwood, you got this dog every time on hardwood. I will take a pair of Air Jordans over fuzzy paw pads on hardwood any day of the week, right? So you put them on grass. Airbud football, the Airbud, golden retriever, whatever it is, wide retriever. That one I believe. That one I believe. Because you put a dog in shoes, they do this thing, right? You're just not going to get them. But Airbud going long, Airbud being a running back and just dodging everybody, that I believe. You could do it, well, when you had your leg. Hey, monkey. So, think about that. 70L. I thought about joining ICE too and just film everything for evidence at the trials in 4 years, just sabotage the best I can. I also thought about too, like contacting New York Times and be like, hey, I'm going to apply for this job. I will give you every detail and everything you want. And just be like an insider for them. Gonzo journalism, man. So yeah, Stephanie, you and I are thinking on the same wavelength there. Maybe you can do both. You can detail all the crimes they do and disappear a bunch of billionaires at the same time. Why not? Let them stew at Alligator Alcatraz or whatever. Think about who they support. That'd be a great way. Oh, that'd be a great way to get the billionaires to turn on the president, right? If you start arresting all of them and be like, well, Donald Trump told me to. And they'd be like, oh, got my lawyer. Okay. I can do a couple more and then I'm going to run away here. Go yourself a hey there, Houston. Hey, boss's tweet was quite good, if not a little cryptic. Oh, was it his little tweet thread about merger acquisition? I read that one earlier. Let's see if we can find it here. Click on this. I create that. Go to Hey Ross. I mean, Hey Boss. I know you wrote Hey Ross. Hey Ross. There he is, Ross Brown. this one, I believe. He says, read the S-3. If you unpack all the changes it sets up for this scenario, they want to buy something significant. They don't want shareholder activists or hostile bidders interfering. They want maximum optionality to pay with stock, cash, warrants, or debt. They want to avoid restrictive debt provisions that would force repayment or give bondholders leverage. They want to be able to push through governance changes quickly while management retains control. They want to do all this relatively quickly without being stopped by debt holders or other interests. Yeah, because I mean, like, if you look at the BBBY bankruptcy, the thing that's slowing it down are assholes who have shares. That's what's slowing it down the most. Are assholes who have shares. And you get these MJL lawsuits and Bratia, and it's just like, shut the fuck up and let them do their jobs, man. Just back off. They've got a plan. Let them do it. Quit being a speed bump in the way. And the language of the S3, I think Ross is right about this. The language in the S3 is basically like, we can do whatever the hell we want. There's nothing you can do about it. And the SEC said, fine with us. Right? So they got the blessings of Delaware. They got the blessings of the SEC. And I think they're ready to fuck. And I just wish they would do it as fast as they possibly can, because I am tired. Intending oneness, no super chat. Heard that even if you join ICE, you would never get the bonus. They just do something every 29 days, and it just never gets paid out. And you have to stay the whole 5 years. That's also another thing. They're just like dangling that carrot in front of you. And then once they arrest enough people, they'll just lay them all off, and they won't get the other bonuses. So you may as well just screw with them if that's the case. Yeah. All right. That being said, I'm going to bid you adieu. Thank you for a wonderful Friday after dark. And Monkey Butt got her treats. Fat Cat got high as a kite. I'm going to a baseball game on Sunday. And peace out, Girl Scouts. How about after dark?
Houston, we have a problem.
There we go. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.